Lisa Yasko is a member of parliament with Ukraine's governing party and joins us now. Morning, Lisa.
Good morning.
What do you think of this 4-point plan as outlined by Keir Starmer yesterday?
Well, first of all, it felt so good that the meeting that took place in London was done in respect, in peace and in confidence, that there were leaders who knew and talked that we have to act all together. And all these points of the plan are very important, and we are looking forward to have this cooperation and also possibly foreign troops. But I'm very grateful that the UK and other countries actually emphasize the importance of the cooperation with the US at this point, because we need to make sure that our European voice is loud and confident so that the US could also join. But we shouldn't be just waiting when US decides something. We should be acting ourselves.
What was the reaction in Ukraine to what happened in the Oval Office on Friday?
Well, for us, it's a big shock. Ukrainians were waiting for very specific solutions on hearing what would be the security guarantees, how would they look like. Instead, we've got what we've got. That was disrespectful and that was not constructive. So Ukrainians feel very emotional because when our people are dying every day fighting for freedom, we don't want to hear that someone is criticizing our president because he's not wearing a suit at this moment. That's absolutely not constructive.
What about the news that President Zelensky was saying he is ready to sign this mineral deal with the United States? That feels absolutely crucial if you're going to get an agreement from the United States on some kind of security guarantee.
Well, we were ready and we are ready now, but we just don't want to sign without knowing what happens next, because it looks like American leadership wanted to press us to sign it and then to talk about the ceasefire, but ceasefire is not what we want. We want a ceasefire with the end of Russian attacks, but we just don't believe in a ceasefire because Russia always breaks this ceasefire, and we shouldn't be naive.
Keir Starmer says Europe must do the heavy lifting. Do you think that Europe can help and sufficiently protect you from Russian aggression in the future?
Yes, I think that Europe can help for one very simple reason. It looks like the leadership is finally happening in different European capitals with strengths, not just in the words of support, but with the strengths and with the actions on rebuilding armies, on investing in security, in making sure what kind of alliance we will have in the future. And all the leaders who arrived to London over last days actually are those who don't need to question whether we need to do something about security or not. And that's very hopeful. And I'm very happy to see there also Scandinavian countries, those who recently joined NATO. This is the awareness and this is the alliance of leadership from where we can get to the next stage and join more countries.
How are things feeling generally in Ukraine at the moment?
It feels very emotional because for many ordinary Ukrainians, they were waiting that there will be some solutions coming from the US, from the West. They were living in some illusions and thinking that in spring they will be able to go to holidays, that the war will be over. And now it looks like nothing is going to happen and the war will run for quite a long time. And when your illusions and your dreams are down again, that's very painful, because this pain also is surrounded by the sound of air sirens and destruction of infrastructure and lives every day. And you want this to be finished, but the question when, and you understand that for that, the world needs to act. The cynicism is not going to help here.
Do you trust that you can do some kind of deal with the United States still?
Yes, we can, but just want to repeat again, it needs to include the security part. We are not the average general Ukrainian person would never forgive Zelensky if he would sign a deal and the security wouldn't be a part of that, even on the table. And we just don't trust when we hear, over last days that, we wanted to sign this deal. This is what Americans say. And then we would discuss some security. No, it's it's not going to work like that. We've been into these shoes. We know what it is, and we are not going to make these mistakes again. We already know what means when there are just words. We need real solutions, not on paper, not in wars, but real solutions, the military security solutions.
Lisa, the Minister for Armed Forces here in the UK, Luke Pollard, has been talking to the BBC this morning about this 4-point plan and what it will involve. I wonder if you want to have a listen.
Well, there's a number of options that are being discussed at the moment. None of them have been agreed at this stage, but they all involve stepping up military support for Ukraine today to keep them in the fight today, because with all the talk of peace, we shouldn't forget about the war. It all involves Europe stepping up our military support, our military spending, and having a readiness to provide military forces for a security guarantee for Ukraine. And they all depend on the critical US backstop in providing that deterrence that stops Putin from taking advantage of any pause to simply reconstitute his forces, rearm, and then reinvade. It has to be a lasting and durable peace.
Listening to that, does it give you confidence that this is becoming a kind of concrete plan, Lisa?
Yes, because long-lasting and confident peace is peace through strength, not peace through words or promises, but real strength. We live in a real world with a lot of dangers, and we have to be strong if we want to defend our future.
Thank you very much for your time this morning, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lisa Yasko there, Member of Parliament with Ukraine's governing party.